Everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.wordpress.com here, back again with another Ferrero Friday project, and this one is based on a lovely box which I received from Caroline Hallett, which is not Caroline Hallett. This is from Caroline Hewley from Crafty Caroline Creates, and it is a beautiful flush fitting box. It's a little bit battered because I had this in Brussels, and it's now filled with eggs rather than the gorgeous candle which she bought me. But you can see there it's beautifully flush and it just slips together, makes a really lovely gift box and worth the extra effort. Now I've made one that fits a Ferrero in keeping, so you've got two here just to show you how different they can look in different colourways. So make a lovely wedding table favour. And this one you'll see it's just got the washi label tape on the front there, and this one has again used the same effect with the flower, and inside, as you can see, it just fits a single Ferrero. Or alternatively, if you're doing the wedding favour, I picked up these lovely silver hearts, and it fits four. You could easily fit a fifth one in there, or the traditional sugared almonds, and there you go with your lovely box ready to put on the table. So without further ado, I thought I'd actually mix it up a little bit and do it in different colours. So I'm using Tempting Turquoise, and I'm also going to use a different stamp set. This one used the Flowering Flourishes, which has been around a little while. It's a lovely stamp set which is really versatile, and this is a new one from the Occasions catalogue, which has got this lovely flourish here, which is sort of an antique distressed finish, along with some other really useful texture stamps. So a washi stamp, but some coffee rings, some little dots. So if you haven't got gorgeous grunge, it's a great way to get some little dots. A nice faded effect here, and a wood grain. So a really useful set for your collection. So to start off with, then you need a piece of cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 in both Whisper White and Tempting Turquoise, and you're going to stamp the Tempting Turquoise piece first of all. So I'm going to start in the middle because that's what's going to be on show first of all, and then I'm just going to angle the stamp around to fill in the gaps, and you can overlap slightly if you want to, or not, up to you entirely. So I'm just going to fill in. I mean, some of these bits won't actually be seen, we'll be trimming them away, but I'd rather have kind of as much covered as possible, so that then you're not going to have any ugly gaps at the end. So you can see there. So again, stamping off on the edges, it's very easy to do. So there's your piece of cardstock. I can move it. I can make a mess of it as well, as I've just done. Fortunately, it hasn't made too much of a mess, so I'm going to continue. Once you've stamped that and not dropped your stamp on top of it, then you're going to take your piece of cardstock and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inches on all 4 sides. So I hope my hands don't get in the way too much here. So you're going to go at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inches all the way round. 1/2 inch, 1/4. And 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inches. Hopefully not allowing it to move. So I've done that piece of card. So I'm now going to do exactly the same with a piece of Tempting Turquoise. So 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inches, and rotate. I always find it awkward to do that little 1/2 inch, so that's hence I'm keeping my hand out of the way. So that's the scoring done on that. There's another piece of card you need to do, which I've already stamped, which is the liner, which is 7 1/2 inches by 1 3/8 inches. And all I've done there is scored it at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7 inches. And then the base that goes inside it, like the lining, is a 4 7/16, so you'll need to do that on your trimmer, and then which I've then scored at 1 3/8 on all 4 sides. So again, going round 1 3/8 on all 4 sides to make that, which I've then reinforced. Don't need to watch me scoring all the time. So having done that, you then have, so you've got 4 pieces of of card, and you're now going to go and as I say, reinforce all of your score lines. So all I'm doing is folding and using a bone folder just to press down on those. This one is a Stampin' Up one, which are great because they don't mark the card. They really are fabulous. Okay, so you've done that one, and do exactly the same on the base. So this is a nice reinforced box that you've got there. So having done that, we're now going to trim away the outer 3 corners on each of the 4 sides. So I'm just going to go around, and I'm cutting at quite a steep angle. That's so that when we finish the box, you'll see it just creates a nice effect on the lid and doesn't get in the way too much. So again, so it's these 3, 1, 2, 3 on each side, and then we're just cutting a wedge in the side panel. Okay, so you end up with a piece that looks like this. Okay, and now we're going to cut the tabs out. Now, frequently when I'm doing a box, I'll cut them on the same side, but on this, because you need it to fit flush, you need the same level of thickness of card on each of the 4 sides. I did try doing it in the other way, and it just didn't work quite as well. So you've done the 4 tabs. We do exactly the same on the lid. So this is my stamped lid, complete with the dropped stamp, which fortunately hasn't actually made too much of a mess. I think that was lucky that I was using the Timeless Textures, which had a bit of has a bit of a shabby chic feel to it. So again, and I say, I've actually got some natural light for a change here. My craft table unfortunately is sideways onto a window, and so the light is not the best for videos, but I hope it's good enough for you to be able to see what I'm doing. So again, okay, so got the same shape, three squares from each side, and then just go around and create our tabs, which we're going to use to fold in. And the beauty of this reinforced lid is that it makes it really nice and sturdy, even using the ordinary Whisper White. I haven't tried it with the thick Whisper White yet. That should work really well actually, but I haven't tried it yet. So once we've done that, we're now going to come in with our fuse, and I'm turning it over so that the pattern is down, and I'm folding the tabs in, and as we go around I'm doing the tab and the strip to one side, trying not to glue myself down. So the tab and the strip, because that's going to fold in and glue. Okay, so having done that, all you're going to do is line up those corners, folding the tab in, and this is where fuse makes it so much quicker. I do love my red tape, I have to say, and sorry to see that go from the Stampin' Up catalogue, because I do find for boxes, particularly for bigger, sturdier boxes, I do find I like red tape, but the fuse is so good it makes it so quick and easy. So there's your lid made. I'm going to do exactly the same now on the base. So fold those tabs in, and then again just line them up, and then again just go in. Oh, didn't press that one quite hard enough. Fold those in and reinforce. So as you can see, you can just press them in, but by just adding that pressure down there with a bone folder, you get a really good, and you can see there, those boxes are exactly the same. Yeah, so those are going to fit really flush. So having done, that's your base and your lid, you're then going to do the lining, which I've reinforced there, and then the inner box as well. So with the inner box, again, we're going to cut down on each 4 sides, rotating as we go. And I'm going to take a sliver out. And then this time we're actually going to fold up and put the tabs on the outside of the box that's then going to sit into it. So this is where you just need to make sure you're all ready to fold up, and then this is where your glue is going to go. Actually, this is a useful opportunity to show you the glue eraser. If ever you've got a bit of glue on one of your projects, this is a fabulous bit of kit to have. It's so simple, but it's just like a piece of like really heavy duty rubber, but you rub that over your project and it will take off the excess glue. I've got a bit there, so all I'm doing is just rubbing over. It just takes a few moments, just gently, and you will see that that glue has now gone, which, as I say, is so useful. But there's nothing worse than you do a lovely project and then a bit of Tombow spills out. Just leave it to dry and then use the eraser and you're sorted. So all you're going to do is fold those up. And you'll see that's why I only cut out the bottom, so I can line it up nicely at the top. We're then going to wrap this around. So that's why, although I have scored it, and hopefully I've got my measurements really accurate, but you're then going to put that all the way around and keep it nice and tight. Yeah, so there you go, you've got your lined box, and that literally, with a bit of gentle persuasion, just sits inside there. And what I find, because it is such a tight fit, it's just a bit of bit of gentle pressure, and then it will slide in really snug, and you don't even need to glue it. And I say, it is a really snug fit, but just be gentle and just ease it in. There you go, there's your box. To get the lid on, squeeze gently on the 4 sides. And there you go, there's your box. So we're very nearly finished, and all that's left is to decorate it. And to do that, I've just taken a simple piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm using a sentiment from the Sweet Stack. And it's got, again, love you to pieces, celebrate the good times, some really very pretty sentiments there. And if I could find my ink pad, which I've moved out of the way, there we go. I'm just going to come in and stamp. There you go, love you to pieces. And then to get that little tiny tag, I'm coming in with my washi tape, which I haven't stamped that very straight at all, but there you go. So stamp it. Then what I'm going to do now is a really useful little trick if you want to make a shorter version. I'm going to attach this to a post-it note, and that will enable you to bring it in from the side and just line it up to where you want. So there you go. There's your sentiment. You're going to do exactly the same with a scrap of the Tempting Turquoise. So just pop it in. You know you're not going to need as much, so you don't have to do a full one. You can just pop it in there. Have a look at about the length. So I just need to trim the edge off that one. So I can use the same post-it note. And literally, being a messy crafter there today. Sorry, I moved that around just so I could get it in more easily. And all I'm going to do is just line up and press again. A bit of glue on the back there. And I'm just going to put that off slightly to one side, and that's so that I've got space for my little flower. So, little flower. To get a bit of dimension, just press with the reverse of my pokey tool on the other side there. Grab a rhinestone, and you can use whichever size you want here. And they are such a gorgeous, gorgeous sparkle on those. And then for ease, I'm going to use a glue dot on those. So I'm just going to use my piercing tool to pick up a glue dot. Put it on the reverse. And then, of course, just I've literally got a small piece of the edge of the dimensionals. You could use a whole one. I might just take a bit of post-it note off the back there, and then you can literally just line that up, taking the backing off. Not a good day on this really. There you go. And there's your box. Pop your Ferrero Rocher or whatever else you want in there. Squeeze it together slightly, and there you go. A lovely set of little gift boxes, and you could use those for jewellery or anything else that you might fancy that you happen to be gifting. I say this is part of my Ferrero Friday because I just think it's a bit of fun. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I hope you join me again soon. Take care now.